Oh, come on, Jack. Another top 10 pet peeves? You've clearly ran out of ideas. Well, excuse me when I try a different top 10 idea, people only respond with, "Is this Watch Mojo?" And besides, I've been waiting to do this video since my original because apparently I'm the pissiest bitch in the land who gets all wound up at the tiniest inconvenience to my gaming experience. So we're doing another one, and this time I've been very particular with my choices, to the point where this video makes my original list look like a goddamn kid-friendly warm-up. So without further stalling, let's get into my ongoing pain and suffering. One of my favourite things about games and storytelling in general is finally seeing the good guys overcome the odds and kick the ass of the opposing corner to ultimately come out on top. So it really bugs me when I've worked hard to reach a boss battle where I don't even get to exact my revenge for the torture they just put me through. Let me beat them up a little, but no. Instead, I'm here running away like a coward, playing defense most of the time, and worst case scenario, not even getting to lay a finger on them. Sometimes we have to fight their ultimate weapon or accidentally on purpose attack them indirectly, but either way, let me stomp his jaw into the fucking mat or don't even waste my time. Now this one is a bit different. It breaks my heart seeing series get clean. For example, Dirt 2 is such an awesome kick-ass racing game with fun courses, a killer soundtrack and a real gritty presentation. It's got attitude, a realistic one that fits with this racing theme. Now look at Dirt 3. The presentation is much cleaner on this one, the tracks aren't as fun, and the new modes are scraping the absolute bottom of the barrel. It's like as soon as they tried to modernise it or clean up its act, the series got shitter. The same thing happened to Tony Hawk as well. Look at the last game most fans consider to be good, and what came after it. The drizzling shits. And again, same fate for WWE games. The last one I personally enjoyed is also the last one published by THQ, and the last one with a bit of grit in the presentation, eventually watered down into WWE 2K with the exact same stock presentation year after year. I'm sure there are a lot more examples, and granted, all of mine were untraditional sports titles, but they're all series I used to love until they cleaned up their act. Seeing a franchise get cleaner and go corporate ultimately means it loses its unique identity compared to everything else, essentially marking it for death. Come on, guys. How hard is it to match some subtitles to audio of people speaking? I'm not a fan of subtitles in games for starters, just because it naturally draws your attention away from the action of what's on screen, be it a boring cutscene or your fucking face about to get blown off. But when I am looking at it and see the disconnect from each other, it just really hurts my brain.
Is that so?
And look, I can understand that if I'm talking super fast, and yeah, it might be kind of tricky to keep what I'm saying with perfectly, but the thing is, most games just put the entire sentence or paragraph on screen at once, and even then, they still manage to balls it! Turn that shit off if you have the option, because these subtitles just shit the bed. Okay, this one is oddly specific, right? But I cannot stand when a walkthrough or a cheat book lists something as a cheat, when in reality, it just explains how to unlock something normally. No, that's wrong. I own this A to Z cheat book, right? The entire thing is just a walkthrough for a bunch of different games. Yeah, there are some codes and stuff like that included, but 90% of it is just literal progression through the game. Not even for tough sections or anything like that, no. A to Z progression help through the first level tutorial, for fuck's sake. It's most infuriating when I'm stuck or do want a code to do something, and here's a common one in my case: throwing in a level code to get some random piece of background gameplay for a video. But I look up how to do that and all I find are geniuses telling me that to unlock level 3, I need to beat level 2. No fucking shit! When did a basic understanding of correct terminology get exiled from this world? It really irks me to no end. I could go on about this one until the sun dies out, because for some reason, that's how long it takes to kill generic bad guys in video games. Why, oh fucking why, does every enemy need to be a fucking boss fight? It's awful! You find yourself wasting so much time burning through your list of attacks just trying to make it through an area. It makes you just want to run past everything, and that's not fun. And I get that this is supposed to make every enemy feel like a threat, but that's the problem. Not every enemy should be a threat. The fact that a skeleton could ever take more than one hit is beyond me. Go away! Let me mow through these guys. They aren't the reason I'm on this mission. He is. Just let a guy get on with his life instead of forcing me to stop in my tracks so frequently and get stuck exchanging blows with expendable henchmen. Since the earliest days of the open world, man has struggled to find the willpower required to overcome life's greatest obstacles: bushes and fences. You're gonna tell me a head-on collision with a fucking hedge is going to kill the driver of a car? It's total bullshit. And Cole Phelps couldn't get through a white picket fence with a fucking chainsaw, let alone a giant-ass truck. Impossible. Games all round have gotten much better with their destructive environments over the years, but there are still endless examples of this strange phenomenon, one the human race may never be able to overcome. One of the big things promoted in modern games is character customization. Build anyone and define your own style. Until a mission calls for you to dress a certain way. Normally it's a disguise that lets you access certain areas without being noticed. A cool idea and some of the most memorable missions. But it never changes you back. Now you're stuck running around the world dressed like a complete twat. Was it so hard to just give me my shirt and shoes back? Now I have to travel back to home base, or worst case scenario, to a very specific location or store just to get myself looking fine again so I can continue. I find this one particularly frustrating because if I'm playing through a game, I tend to ignore character customization for the sake of consistent game footage for use in videos. I just think it helps the overall presentation to keep things neutral so that I don't attract any specific kind of audience. It's the most minor inconvenience I could ever think to include here, but it's still one of my biggest gaming pet peeves. Unskippable cutscenes and similar moments in games are just the worst, especially for stuff you've already played several times over. Am I really going to get stuck if I don't sit here every time and take all of this in? And if that is the case, then I may as well not even bother and play something else. I've talked about on-rail cutscenes before and why I can't stand them. Well, this is just an extension of that, because these are much more likely to have this problem. And yes, I get that for the first playthrough, you're not likely to skip it anyway, and these guys did have a story they wanted to tell. But tell it on your own damn time! I feel like I'm being held against my will to sit here and experience this junk every time I play the game! But the biggest insult of all is when you try to skip an unskippable cutscene, and the only thing you can manage to do is pause the damn thing! Pause? Why would I want to pause? I'm sick of looking at it and the only other option you can give me is to look at it longer? What a complete piss take. What a complete waste of my time, and what a complete and utter crock. I've always found games without a jump button to just feel really strange. Even if it's not all that important to navigation, I'd still like the ability to jump, dodge attacks and all that, because not having that option just annoys me. Same with games that don't let you drop down. You can't just walk off a ledge, how stupid of you. You need to painstakingly climb down. I don't care if the fall kills me, just let me jump the fuck down. Why is that such a tall order? When games go for realism and still don't allow for natural human movement, it baffles my brain to no end. Then there is the reverse of this, when you're blocked by something a character should easily be able to jump over or climb onto. Like, why does this waist-high gate stop me? Yes, I understand these things are impenetrable, even for a fucking tank, but surely there is no harm in just hopping over it, right? Or is there an invisible force field or an act of God just flat out denying that option? Well, in that case, just put a fucking wall there and stop fucking with me. But no, games can't help but fuck with me. I don't even know why I still play them. Every single one has some minor extremity that just gets me all hot and bothered. But in recent years, I've noticed a common theme. A major, newfound hatred of mine that is way more common than I ever could have imagined. And nobody else seems to mind it. But before we take a look, here are some honourable mentions. Now you see that? How could anyone not be peeved about that? What? You can't see it? Oh, but that's the entire fucking point, apparently. All you're allowed to see is your own reflection on the screen, and that's it. No game, no level design, just darkness. Darkness in video games, man oh man do I hate this shit. Why waste your time with actual design of a location when you can just fill the nether with absolute nothing? I am well aware and have no issue with darkness if it's done correctly, for the record. If it's part of a gameplay gimmick or at least looks nice, then I can't complain. Some of the most gorgeous locations in gaming history take place in night scenes, in dark caves and such. My problem is when it just fills the screen and blurs everything in together so that you can't even see what you're looking at. You have to squint your eyes and strain the shit out of them trying to focus on the level until a fucking spotlight is shined in specific areas, making the darker areas even darker. If that's even possible. And everyone's go-to comeback on this one is just turning the brightness up in-game or on your TV. Yeah, thanks. Now I can see everything perfectly. And even if it did work, I should not under any circumstance be required to exit the game experience and correct issues made by slack or incompetent game devs. That's their job, and honestly, as far as colour palettes and lighting is concerned, it shouldn't be difficult to produce something that at the very least gives me the privilege of actually being able to see the game I'm playing. It's lack of visibility like this that's sending us back to the Dark Ages and sending me to an early fucking hole in the ground. Man, I can't wait for that. Eternal darkness. Although, I've already experienced it through playing games. Video games equal death. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know some of your biggest gaming pet peeves with a comment down below, followed with liking, subscribing and sharing the video. I'm Square-Eyed Jack and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.